You guys could see me, right? So, this is a bit emotional for me, but let me start. Hello, and Assalamu alaikum. It's an honor to be here today. Thank you to the organizers, honorable guests, respected speakers, and my dearest brothers and sisters for being part of this amazing World Hijab Day celebration. Your support means everything to our nonprofit, the World Hijab Day organization. I have some questions for all of you, mainly ladies. Raise your hand if you have ever worn a hijab before. Yay! Now, raise your hand if you ever felt like you did not belong somewhere. I can definitely relate to you. Lastly, raise your hand if you are celebrating World Hijab Day today. I'm expecting everyone's hands to be raised because that's what we are doing. We are celebrating the hijab around the world today. Now, you will have an opportunity to hear why I started World Hijab Day later. But first, I would like to share a short but a sweet personal story which illustrates what this piece of fabric on my head called the hijab truly means to me. So, last summer, while I was watching my son play in our backyard, my 6-year-old neighbor walked up to me, and with a smile, she said, I know why you cover your head. Curiously, I asked, why, Aliyah? She answered, because it makes you happy. I paused for a few seconds and realized it was the most beautiful and touching remark I have ever received on my hijab. Her words made me so happy that I hugged her tightly and thanked her parents, who are from Hong Kong and Taiwan, by the way, for raising an amazing little human being. You know what? Happiness is the correct word to describe my hijab. It does make me very happy to proudly display my faith and Muslim identity outwardly. And something I cannot really describe is the inner peace I experience knowing I am trying my very best to stay true to my faith. But trying to hold on to this inner peace came with a price. Looking back, I wish I had friends and neighbors like 6-year-old Aliyah when I first moved to New York City from Bangladesh in the mid-1990s. If I did, I wouldn't have to be terrified going to middle school every single day in the Bronx. If I had classmates like Aliyah in high school, then I wouldn't have to endure constant harassment of being spat at, shoved against the lockers, or taunted with what they meant to be hurtful names, such as Batman and Ninja when I wore a black hijab, which was very often, and Mother Teresa when I wore a white hijab. Just a side note, I would take it as a compliment if anyone calls me Batman or Mother Teresa now. I don't mind being called a superhero or a saint. If others, like Aliyah, showed kindness, then people would have sat next to me on the number 4 and 6 trains from Kingsbridge Road to Lexington Avenue and not made me feel like I did not belong in this society. If people had a fraction of Aliyah's empathy, then I wouldn't have been chased down the streets of Bainbridge Avenue and Grand Concourse and unjustly labeled terrorist post 9/11 simply because I wore the hijab. Many of us are familiar with the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Sometimes the strength comes from the desire to change the world so others do not face the same. same hardship you have endured. In my case, I no longer wanted to see my sisters being harassed in the schools of the Bronx or New Brunswick or on the streets of Brooklyn or London for their Muslim identity. I no longer wanted to see my sisters being banned from getting an education in France, parts of Canada, or India for simply covering their heads. I no longer wanted to see my sisters being fired from jobs in Germany, Singapore, Nigeria, or the USA for wearing the hijab. I believe hate stems from ignorance and lack of education. Therefore, I created a global movement called World Hijab Day to educate, empower, and to bring awareness of the most misunderstood piece of fabric in the world. I thought if my sisters from all over the world, regardless of their ethnic backgrounds or faiths, wore the hijab for just one day, perhaps they would have a better understanding of the hijab and get a glimpse of the difficulties we Muslim women face. This way, they could be our allies in creating this world more inclusive. I am happy to share that my call has been heard by people in over 150 countries. And I am extremely, extremely grateful for their support. Through World Hijab Day, my goal is to bridge cultural gaps, cultivate respect, and build a global community where every individual feels accepted and valued, regardless of their cultural backgrounds or faiths. This way, the next time we see someone who looks different than us, we can look at them through the lenses of Aliyah, rather than our preconceived notions of prejudices and biases, and help build a world where we are united through our diversity. Thank you, and happy World Hijab Day.